Hi everyone, Dr. Kingsley with BetterVet.
I'm Rachel, and this is our friend Chaos here to help us talk about barking today.
Right, barking is often one of the most frustrating behaviors that pet parents have to deal with.
There are many different reasons that your dog may bark.
Let's go ahead and kick it off with why dogs bark. Think about what a dog would be doing in the wild. They're part of a pack. And if there's something that is alarming that they need to communicate with their pack, they communicate by being vocal. Transfer that into a home setting where their pack doesn't necessarily speak the same language, and that can oftentimes turn into inappropriate or excessive barking.
Exactly. I feel like sometimes it's a trick question of why is my dog barking? It's important to remember dogs bark because they're excited. Dogs bark to say hello when they see you. It's a form of communication, and it's one of the few that they have. The bad barking happens when it is destructive and it is a distraction, and you cannot get them to stop.
The average pet parent is typically really good at reinforcing bad behavior. So if you put your dog outside and they start barking at the door to come back in, and all you want them to do is to be quiet, and you let them inside, then you've essentially just told them, hey, if you bark, you get to come back inside. Same thing for barking in their kennel and you let them out. That can oftentimes lead to more barking and reinforcing that behavior.
Exactly, which is why this is so hard, because oftentimes that's the easiest thing for a pet parent to do, and it's effective, but only in the short term.
How do we stop a dog from barking? A lot of times, a dog that is running around and barking excessively is because they're bored. One of the best ways you can redirect it is by teaching them a different command and redirect that pent-up energy. The most effective is a quiet command. If your dog is quiet when they otherwise may be barking, trying to capture that and reward it is something that you can then shape into getting the barking under control.
Not only does it give them that positive reward with you, but if they're paying attention to the treat, whatever it is they were barking at is not on their mind anymore. So it's that redirection that we're really looking for.
The last thing you want to do, which is the knee-jerk reaction for almost every pet parent, is to open the door and yell at them and say, stop barking or shut up or whatever. Because honestly, that is you acknowledging that they're barking, and they don't know that it's necessarily negative or positive. They just know, hey, I'm barking and my person just showed up.
And you're just participating in the conversation.
Right.
So why would they stop when they now have a partner to continue talking to?
If they're barking to try and get inside or to try and get out of their crate, and you let them inside or let them out of their crate, that just reinforced, hey, if I do this, then I get what I want. Again, going back to every pet parent is an effective trainer. It's just learning how to do it in the right way. If you feel like your dog is excessively barking, none of this is news to you, it might be time to seek professional help.
Oftentimes, local behaviorists will come by and leave their business cards, or vet practices will have clients that have referred positive stories. If you are looking for professional help and not having luck finding a behaviorist that's trained on your own, then ask your veterinarian for any recommendations they might have. Oftentimes they'll pay you a home visit and they can walk through the home and help identify triggers that you may not notice that they pick up on right away. What are some ways that we can help prevent barking that is destructive and we don't want to reinforce for the long run?
One of the first lines of defense against excessive barking is really getting a good training handle on your dog. You know, starting some basic behaviors, getting their mind stimulated, have commands that you can redirect the barking behavior to.
Yeah, if their mind is working and they're learning new things and trying to figure them out, whatever it is that they are barking at is not at the front of their brain. So they'll be distracted enough to hopefully focus and then redirect that energy somewhere that's a bit more positive. And this can also be done with puzzle toys. You can leave TVs on or radios on so that they have that comfort and don't feel as anxious when you're away. And then working on commands is really going to be the stronghold to make sure that this is a reliable behavior and a consistent result that you're looking for. And once they know that, sometimes one bark is all they'll give you, because if they then pause and know they're going to get a treat, then your work is done. You have reinforced that quiet behavior that you're looking for.
And, you know, if this still doesn't make a ton of sense, really just try and put yourself in the paws of your dog. If they bark at the mailman and he turns around and he walks away, great, they've done their job. So really just trying to identify what is your dog trying to get from that bark, and is it appropriate? And if it's not, then we need to redirect it.
And the goal here is to get your pet used to whatever it is that they are either afraid of or think that they're protecting you from. If you're friends with your mailman or mailwoman, it might be a good idea to have them have a treat on hand. When they show up, they wait. If the dog stops barking, the mail person's able to give them a treat, and now we've captured that quiet moment and they're getting a positive experience from the mail person. So it's no longer something that they have to fear. They can be excited to see their new friend who's going to give them a treat, and there's no reason to bark or put the high alert on.
So Chaos is actually really good at his speak command. Chaos, woof. Good. So he knows essentially when it is appropriate and when it's not appropriate for him to bark. So if Chaos were very excited, we could wait until he settled down and was quiet. Chaos, quiet. Good. And then give him the treat when he's actually quiet. And essentially just keep rewarding him as he is settled and quiet and calm. Sometimes this can take weeks in order for them to really get the hang of, but once you do, hopefully it'll be a much less stressful experience for everybody. That about does it for this segment on why dogs bark and how to prevent it. If you have any other comments, questions, concerns, post them down in the comments below, and be sure to hit the subscribe button on the way out so we can keep you up to date on all the recent pet tips and tricks.
And definitely let us know what has worked for you, and if you happen to have a behaviorist recommendation to share, go for it. We'd love to hear.
Right. So, thank you, buddy. Yes, thanks.
Yes, please.